Swanson. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I'd like to invite the speaker, Ms. Subangi Umapathy, who will talk about how a community Gaushala model can become a catalyst for sustainable rural development. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajini. Good evening, everyone. This is Subangi, as mentioned by Rajini, and thank you, Agriculture Information, for this opportunity. So, we take this opportunity to talk about community Gausala model. It's more like building sustainable rural villages through circular economy. Today, we would share this topic because with a idea behind how can we support the rural economy as well as the current ongoing upgradations which we require with respect to Gausalas. So our topic is community Gausala model, building sustainable rural village through circular enhanced future globe economy. And we are giving this presentation taking Tamil Nadu as one example, but again, we will be having this plan or idea can be further taken globally also. So it's just a seed which we are trying to insert today. And from this, people can take it towards further discussions, can make this really a wonderful plan. So as I begin, a disclaimer that any references taken from here is all for educational and illustration purpose only. So most of the images you might see some news from the news or from Google's. This is all for illustration purpose and educational purpose only. Okay, with this, let's start our real topic. Can a community managed gausalas become more than a shelter for cattle? Because most of the gausalas today run as a shelter, but yeah, they also do something, but it is also a shelter. But can it become a real livelihood resource enterprise for the rural development hub? With this question, we are going to have our thoughts going forward. So, as mentioned again, whatever we are discussing today is not a final model that we are presenting. It's just a thought, it's an idea that we wanted to discuss and improve it together later. So, why do we need a community Gausala? When we think about it, let us first understand what we are doing right now. Most of the cows, what is the situation of their cows which we are facing today? The question begins at the household level. What do we do? A family keeps the cow because they give milk. But what happens when the cow stops giving producing milk, or when the income generated from the cow is lesser than the expenditure the family is doing on the cow to maintain it, for probably the fodder, the feed, or the veterinary care they are giving, or probably they don't have enough space to keep the cow, and that is why they are leaving it outside to gaze. There are no enough grazing lands, so the animals go in search of food to different places. So different places, they also come to the highways, they also come to the roads. And also within the family, maybe the older generation would have started taking care, but the younger generation, for the betterment of the lifestyle, they start moving in, they migrate from villages to cities for education and for higher income opportunities. And these are some reasons where they are not able to take care. So, coming to the point, when they're not able to take care, what are the other issues which we are getting? These are some informations which we have gathered, few informations, and not very old news, probably last 2 years. If you see the screens, we have 93 cows died in accidents since July. This was reported by the veterinary department. If you paste it in the Google, you will find some informations. And 18 cows killed as government bus runs. This is in our own Teni district. And this is all because, yeah, as we mentioned, we are leaving the cows outside. And again, this is one interesting information which we again captured, the ECR, which is the real happening road where everybody so goes in ECR, we see real high speeding, right? So here also we have cows walking, animals walking with the vehicles itself. And post rains, mostly in post rains, what happens in highway, if you see the middle paths, a side path and all, you will have nice grasses grown. This is one of the reason the animals come in search of food and end up with highway accidents and all. These are few newses which are captured. Again, not to say about our system right now, it's basically these are the things which we are facing, and we can really do a better job, or we together as a society can really get ourselves on the grounds together. One person cannot do, together we can go on the grounds and do a real differences here. Again, taking the census report, a little old report, but again, just an information which is gathered for the purpose of this presentation. There are 51,150 stray cattle were recorded in the livestock census 2019, and overall India the count is really high, and the references are given at the end of the document. It can always be verified. So when we come to this, do we have to? A thought comes, right? Why are people leaving it on the roads? Why should we ask a farmer or a owner, why are you leaving it on the road? It is not because they wanted to leave, it's because they are not able to take care. So the issue here is not the farmer or the owner of the cow. It is the issue is simple: the stray or abandoned cattle. It is the absence of the sustainable ecosystem for cattle that household can no longer economically maintain them. So with this reason, we are going to come up with some ideations here which can in future be developed into a better system from the current system. So from an individual burden, we are coming into the concept of a shared community responsibility. What if the community managed, if the cattle's together, what the village together, instead of the individual taking care of the cow, fodder, veterinary care, and the cost and the complete responsibility for that single cow or whatever cow he maintains, instead of that, what about having a community model for Gausalas, which is not only the shelter for cow, but together it's going to become an enterprise in future, which gives income for the families, as well as it creates more job opportunities for different levels, as well as it is also going to help the village to develop, and also going to create different levels of opportunities of job and income for the rural development. And with this, we will understand how today it is handled: one household, individual fodder cost, labor, veterinary, and individual responsibility. I'm just reiterating. And what do we propose? We propose a village cluster community Gosala, which is called as, where it is a shared service: cattle care and veterinary care, the infrastructure, the place for them, the fodder feeds, everything. It's shared responsibility. And again, when it comes to operations and when it comes to processing the raw materials which is created from that profit also is going to be shared. When we talk about this, I would like to also reiterate that we are not talking about a um, donations or NGO related. We are talking about the system which really gives profit for the village and the families in the village. So basically, the ideation is, instead of every family struggling to maintain cattle individually, can the community create a professionally managed common cattle ecosystem? And why we are keeping this word professionally? We really wanted everything which goes inside to be maintained very neatly, and whatever products or services which comes out to be having its standard, it to be having a global standard, where, and global standard doesn't come overnight. It comes from local to global. The concept always, you create something local with your local resources, and you really give a complete quality of the need of what a community needed, and it goes to global. The idea then goes to global. So with this, just giving a gist of how our community resource hub is going to be. So what exactly do we mean by a community Gausala? We are not talking about putting the cows inside a shed here. We are talking about a proper management system First, when we go to a cattle management, when you say about the community Gausala, the very first thing comes is the cattle management. So, what and all we need in the cattle management? We need shelter, we need feeding, we need veterinary care, we need isolation facilities, and we need the identification of every animal. That is also equally important. And then comes the resource management. What are the resources we get out of them? We get cow dung, we get cow's urine, and any agriculture residues and biomass. And instead of treating them as waste, we need to find a way to convert them into a product or services which can be reused or converted into revenue. And then comes the processing. Again, what I said, how we convert them into revenue, we process them like vermicompost or natural farming inputs or brick rates, and the bricks which they form from cow dung, and the logs which were formed from cow dungs, and biogas, and many value added products like ashes which they keep in temple, incense sticks. Like this, lots of there are very different value added products which can be created from them, and we are going to explore a bit of them in this presentation to actually see the cattle in a different way. uh, ok- like they are just not a milk giving resources, but they are also there are lots of other uses of um, their resources as well. Yeah. And then all these things put together comes as an enterprise. So what's an enterprise? Basically, people joining together and doing something and making profit out of it. So in this, what and all, whom and all we are going to involve. We are not going to call anybody in a village. If we are forming something like this, we are not going to call many people from outside. We are going to make use of the resources within us, the assets within us itself, which means we have self-help groups and youngsters in the village. Like today's youngsters are very smart. Even the smallest thing they take as a reel and they just publish it, and it goes viral. Why don't they use that beautiful art or beautiful knowledge on a purposeful thing? So we can hear youngsters and farmers, FPOs, farmer organizations, local entrepreneurs, and people who are also working can be a part time contributor for this system if they are inside the village or inside the community. So, this way, we also have job opportunities open, we also have income. We are not running with donations, not depending on donations here. We are creating a system where it's a proper business system, but making use as a social for a social cause. So, in to expand this more, okay, what are the kinds of products which we can do, and how I can create a circular economy here? So with cow dung, given few examples here, with cow dung we can have seed balls manufactured, vermicompost, and normal natural compost. Fertilizer balls are also very important nowadays for all home gardeners. And we also have cow dung pots which can be manufactured. And there are few factories which are doing cow dung paint, which is completely eco-friendly. And incense sticks, logs for cremations and all they use. So they can use these logs, which again is going to be made out of cow dungs, and briquettes for some industrial purposes. They do briquettes, diyas for temple purposes, cow dungs, cakes. Cow dung cakes is like our ancient thing, but today it is on high demand. If we go into Amazon and check the rate of cow dung cake, it is like a bomb. So cow dung cakes has got a big market because um, it is not only used for fuels or fumes, it is also used sometimes it's when you don't want to use a powdered manure or something, just topping up your top layer with cow dung cakes wherever the plant is also helps with good fertilizations. And biodegradable packaging paper materials, these are all manufactured, produced with cow dung. And not only cow dung, even with cow's urine there are many things which we do. bioenzymes, and proper pest repellents, and floor cleaners. So when we do all these, it is also important that we maintain the quality of these products. So for maintaining the quality, again, you will set up a process of quality check and all other things which is involved in producing a product. We will be having that system one by one introduced when you're creating something like this. It's an idea it's a idea which we are trying to generate. And cow's urine, most of the places cow's urine is used as a natural biopest repellent as well. And then we move into the energy related products. Again, cow dung is going to be used as add some biomass and you get a biogas here. So from a cow to a circular economy, these are the products which, few products for an example which we are showing it here. Another thing, most of the time what we do, we means for most of the time, not all, most of the times what happens, not every resource is utilized in an appropriate way. For example, when we 2 years back, when we got to introduce to a set of people in an area in Chennai, mm, they have lots of cow's urine and cow dung. Getting every week they have to call somebody from the department to clean that drainage in that area, because almost 20 to 30 cows urines and cow dungs was flushed completely, was not reused because there was no space to reuse. The only purpose they were using was for milk. Cows was for milk, so there was no space for other byproducts or anything to. So these resources like cow dung, cow's urine, which we call as resources, were actually going to waste. And it didn't only go to waste, it also created the second problem of blocking the complete drainage system in that area, where each time each every week they had to call somebody to get the drain cleaned up. So but there are some solutions of, a set of solutions like joining together, forming some team and creating this byproducts and creating an economy there. Those things would actually help, but this cannot be done by single person. It has to be done by forming a group or cluster. That's why we are sowing the seed today. So that is why we call them as resources and not as waste. So the complete value chain, whatever we have seen, goes like this. The cattle is the baseline, and we have these resources where we create bioproducts or byproducts, and then it goes to the market. So here there are lots of opportunities, employment opportunities, where you have to market, and through that we get the revenue out of whatever we have produced, and we are reinvesting that revenue, sharing few profits, and we are going to reinvest that revenue for the growth of this Gausala's community Gausala concept. So this is a general idea about why this is very important at this point of time. That too, considering Tamil Nadu as a base here, doesn't mean that only Tamil Nadu it should be implemented. Again, I'm reiterating, this is just a seed idea which can be implemented throughout India wherever there is a need, and wherever there is a progress which we need to show and create employments, and wherever we need to, there's a need for the products as well, like that. Okay, let us move into the multi-level livelihoods, the employment which we will be creating. Now, if you see direct employments, we need to have direct employments because we cannot leave the system pause when people when only with direct employments we can have a process set. So cow attendants, fodders, milkers, and compost handlers, processing and packaging, administration, sales, maintenance, veterinary support, they all will come under the direct employment. Where can we have the self-help groups or temporary employment? Temporary employment is also very important. I'll tell you why. Self-help groups, again, for creating the byproducts of diyas, seed balls, incense sticks, cow dung pots, and some of the natural farming inputs, even vermicompost, all these can be done by the village, internal village employment itself. And where our youth can come into picture, because our youth are really, we call them Gen Zs, and really they are very bright. When we when we are able to understand and give the right opportunities to them. So here, what we have to do, we have to engage them more into the digital marketing, whatever they have learned, digital marketing, e-commerce, sales, logistics, building, and the system building, tracing the right under the guidance of an experienced person. If we are able to engage most of the youth inside, tomorrow when they take over, we will have a complete system, and the thought process will go on expansion and not pausing when we are not there. When our generation is not there, when the youth generation takes it up, the thought process will move into expansion, not just pausing because there's not an experienced person inside. Because by the time they come to that position, they'll be experienced if we are giving them and directing them in a right way. And again, farmers can supply fodders, crop residues, organic inputs, whatever is required, and for manufacturing, if there is anything required. So these are the different livelihoods which will pop up inside and become really busy. And there will also be lots of earning opportunities when we form a community like this. But again, why do we form a community like this? Because we also see there's a need, whether it's an animal or the human, we are all getting affected because they are left loose. And because they are left loose, it's not only that we are getting affected, they are getting affected or we are getting affected, we are also losing the lots of natural resources what they could give us. Okay. The community Gosala, products and services, like whatever we discussed right now, a gist of what are the things. This slide shows a gist of what are the things um, which can give us revenue. Because setting up something and maintaining it, everything is fine, but to consistently run it, we need revenue, we need profits out of it. But again, this model is not like donation based model. No, we can't see this as a donation based model. We need to see this, if it has to really enhance well and sustain and continuously grow our products from local, it has to reach multiple levels, which means our products or services which we are creating here in this Gausala, community Gausala, the standard should be really high. If the standard has to be high, there should be a process set. So that is why. And if the process has to be set, to maintain the process, we need money. Money is revenue. So these are the revenue streams which can come inside once the things are set. So with these streams, the revenue would come inside, and consistently we keep growing. And also the shares, the people who have joined this community with their cows or with other resources also gets profit, and even they grow. So when it comes to agriculture, as we already see, is we have seen its biofertilizer formulations and seed balls and soil conditioners, vermicompost, and we also have some natural farming inputs like cow's urine, which is formed through cow's urine, and energy, biogas. And for rural infrastructures, we have briquettes, everything. And basically we can also, not stopping it from the products, we can also extend it to the services. Training programs can be given on composting or organic farming, and we can open the complete community Gausala, can be opened for 1 day school education where children can come and see in a ticketing model. And how to care your cow awareness, whatever you do, we don't keep it as a secret inside, let people learn. The more the merrier. It's the concept which we wanted to follow here. And farm consultations, further productions, there are lots of agricultural students who are coming out. Not all get the right job for their education, but having a system like this will create more opportunities for them to be part of the community and also do freelancing on consultations. But all that we need is a proper process which we believe and which we follow. And yeah, once community Gausala can create multiple resource streams. That is what we have seen now, which is like product categories, enterprise, and livelihoods. Okay. But okay, I have all my products ready. I have all my Gausala plan ready, and we are also implementing. People all have also come together. Now, what is that we need to be expert in? We need to be expert in marketing and sales, because whatever you get, everything you can become an expert, but your product has to reach the end customer. The more they use, the more revenue for you. The more the visibility is created, more revenue for the community Gausala market. But how can we do it? Since it's a community's effort, there should be an additional effort. There should also be a 10-kilometer give and take effort, which means in olden days, again, going back to the traditional concept, how we did a batter. One person produced rice, the other person produced millets or some adults, and there was always an exchange within them, right? Like that, here the batter system is gone, but not more we see in today. But at least the 10-kilometer support system can be built. Whatever the community needs, the first approach should be within the 10 kilometers, and since the surrounding people, 360 surrounding people, within the 360 degrees of immediate surroundings, whoever could give us the raw materials or vendor support, we should encourage them to be part of our suppliers or whatever. At the same time, now if you see every village within 5 to 6 kilometers itself, we have nice factories, we have nice guest houses, we have nice farmhouses built, we have schools, new schools which are getting built far from the cities. International schools are getting built. We have lots of temples, hotels, and also panchayats. Wherever there's a need to use our products, we have uh, our products has to be supported by them, and we should be the first sellers, vendors for them to buy our products. This exchange, mutual exchange, will help the local market and the local communities also to grow. So the overall, the support system will be very strong. It should be community centric model, so that the support system will be very strong. So that is what, again, I'm reiterating, from a cattle to the resource value stream, whatever we can produce from the resources. And then with that, we create an enterprise with all the people around, different kinds of groups and people around. And then we need to have a quality system traceability. This has to be very important, because whether it's a product, service, or the animals which are inside, everything, only if the quality is high, for the thought we wanted to expand, we can also export it to other countries. So though we are manufacturing in local, the selling or the market expansion should not stand with the local market, then we cannot grow. Local is critical priority, while it has to be expanded globally. What in the products can go globally has to go globally. So if we see, whatever profits this community Gausala gets will be the income for whoever is part of it, and also the additional should be reinvested. There should be a complete system like this. Okay. So moving on, now we have discussed about the systems, everything, but very important point which we have to know is the community Gausalas milk. Are we really having the right milk? Are we drinking the right milk? That is what we have to think. Are we giving our kids, our younger generations, the right milk? So since milk is always the mainstream for Gausalas, this quality of the milk getting and reaching to the local market has to always have a very neat process. There are very few brands which are really following the process and doing it, and hands off to them. And that has to be really followed in every community Gosala as a very important note. Why? Because is fresh milk always safe? This is a learning which I took from Dr. Sultan Hamid's sessions, where now today what happens, most of the places we don't know, we think that we are giving kids fresh milk from cow, but most of the cows are being given growth hormones, and there if you see their milk sac, It is all full of heavy, like it's all, the shape itself is not normal. And what happens, till the end, the milk is extracted from them. And these hormones, when kids take this fresh milk inside, they start consuming this fresh milk, the hormones are directly hitting the kid as well, especially for girl children's child. So what happens? The puberty level, the hormone development level is very abnormal. It speeds up. And this is one of the news which came in Pudya Thalamurai, where one calf which was born, newborn, within within some few half an hour's time, they were able to take half-liter milk. This is also in YouTube. You can go check it. So this is all because of the feeds. So nowadays it's better, we get packet milk which is pasteurized, because it's at least the hormone level, content level will be lesser. This is something which we have to spread a word, because we feel that okay, we are getting fresh milk in most of the societies. If we see, there will be somebody who gets amana pal, which I have milk cow, so I can give you fresh milk. But we really don't know what they are feeding to that cow to get this. I mean, to get their milk. I will not blame them, because today's economic situations for them also is like that. The more milk they get, more money to maintain their family. But this is an information which we all have to understand. There are lots of traditional ways where our ancestors never used any hormones, but with natural feeds which they give to cow itself, the cows were able to generate the adequate milk which their body can give. Everywhere, uh, uh, the food and the body has to match, right, to produce something. So that is what we have to understand. Just because we are getting more, giving a wrong input is not right. Yeah. So whatever we have discussed right now, it's just a seed. Again, I'm reiterating, it's just a seed which we wanted to put in today's presentation to, get a community Gausala models, majorly to avoid the road accidents, which was that has been a major thing, and also to use our resources very comfortably and not wasting anything. So with that, the rural community also has to grow. So we can also take our example into tulips and daffodils. See, we have a farm in Ulundai. So what we used to do, as I mentioned, here in our farm, we don't have a system where most of our workers are women, and they cannot go to the factory and log in for 12 hours, because sometimes they need to go home and attend on kids, or time again they have to go home and they have to prepare food for their family. So what we saw is, instead of telling and asking why you're putting leave, we created a system. You come anytime. We will train you on the products which we are manufacturing. You do it with quality and go back. For the hours you work, you take the money. So with this, we were getting lots of people who were not having opportunity to go and work. And in this consistent 4 years, we have seen now they don't go to somebody to take a loan. They come to us to get a job. So we feel that as we are doing it in a very small scale. But imagine if we are doing it in, everybody together are putting their hands in uh, these kinds of communities and working towards it. I think it would be a massive change which comes to the village, and it will impact cities, and it will also impact the whole state. While each state implements it, it is going to be very good for the nation's progress. And we are going to create a beautiful environment for our future generations as well. So, with this, I'm just concluding. Our vision, Tulips and Daffodils' vision is the children should know where the food comes from. They should know to grow their own food. Tomorrow, if they wanted to grow at home, they should be very comfortable, not following something like, I don't have a green thumb, I have a green thumb. Every individual and soul who has born in this earth, there's nothing like green thumb. Everyone can grow. It just takes little efforts and patience. That's it. Village, and we also wanted to create livelihoods where village women create sustainable livelihoods, and community work together for environmental change. We have done that little change in our own farm, but all put together, when we work towards it, this change is nothing. It's going to be very easy for us. And always I end up my sessions with a gratitude to my parents, families, and friends, and people who have given the opportunity to share our thoughts. Agriculture Information Team, thank you so much. And this is my mentor, because I do not have an agriculture background, but my passion towards plants, animals, nature, humans, everything is really high. So every small step, what I learn, I've always learned through my mentor. And this is Easter Sun, who always designs many things on when it comes to tulips and daffodils, and he's also my husband. My business mentor was Kadambari Umapathy, a gratitude. Otherwise, I will not even open my mouth and talk so much. And Dr. Shiva Shankari, who reviews whatever we do, whatever thought we bring it to the table. She's experienced so much into the grounds, biodynamics, agriculture. So all that, even the presentation, what I'm presenting today was reviewed by her to see whether things are in flow. So she's always a technical supporter for us. And Sujata Srinivasan, who has always worked with me, and that's me and my daughter, who for her I started everything. And this is Subangi Umapathy. We have our contact details here. Thank you so much for being part of this session. And now the room is open for any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Subangi, for a very interesting presentation, and which is need of the day. Our viewers should all will gain from this talk. Okay. So now I'll take up some questions. Okay. How can a community Gaushala become financially self-sustaining rather than depending mainly on donations?
Yeah, I think we covered this point, but I'll reiterate because there's a question which has popped up. So when we say community Gausala, the immediate thing which goes into people's mind is either it's an NGO, because the word community came in, or a set of group joining together and depending only on donations. But we are not going to even give that thought when we create the system. When you create a system, this is just a seed, and in this seed we have clearly told that should not have any process which you all do should not have a dependency on donations. Imagine you are starting your own business with set of 20 people or 10 people. How would you plan your business? Where do you get revenue? So you need to plan how much monthly investment you have to put on maintaining the cow or people or the place, or if there is some natural disaster coming like heavy storms, what are the mitigations? Where are they going to go stay? All those things, and a constant veterinary support inside. All these things has to be planned in advance, presented. And if we see, there are lots of, when your plan is very neat and when it includes the village cluster, there are lots of government funding which comes in through village clusters. We have to go together, talk to them, and tell them that we can create so much business, work, income opportunities in this around. There is some concept called as Nurunal Vela in villages, where village women are occupied only for 100 days. But we have seen in that in our village itself how people, for getting themselves occupied for that 100 days, how they struggle to give their names inside, because they also have some concept of count, I believe, for their names to go inside. So instead of that, why don't you have that opportunity created for your own people inside your community, where they can have regular earnings, and few who cannot have continuous income opportunity, I mean, who cannot come to work continuously, we can also have part-time opportunities where people can come do this work and go get the money for that work what you have done. Like that, you should have a proper revenue stream. And when you do all the proper process, and when you do all these in parallel, you should have your revenue stream model also built. Like, it's not that all these products can be manufactured, but is my surrounding or is my people looking for these products? What are the products in market is now in high demand? Where is my market size? If I approach with these kinds of markets, will they take it and buy it? Because buying, though we say a 10 kilometers concept, Buying is people's individual preferences. We should not change it. But how to get that preference moved towards our product is showing our quality and showing also our process upliftment towards society. Anybody whom you go and pitch, when you say this is going to improve the society, but at the same time, I'm going to give you the highest quality of products from the market. And if I'm also going to give you in a reasonable pricing, I don't think anybody will say no. But the moment you say society will grow, people would say no. And we have to give a try. Your market targeted group of customer analysis should be done way before you start producing your products. And that is why this is a community Gosala, and this is not one person's effort. Set of group of people, one will be good in production, one will be good in accounts, one will be good in marketing, one will be good in identifying the right place for of getting the supplies and giving the products also. So these talents together has to be put. And when your revenue stream is fixed, you are not going to depend on donations at all. So this is going to be an enterprise. This is not going to be a donation based model at all. But I would always suggest, because when it comes to cow in India itself, there is an emotion attached. When it comes to so I would always suggest to have a portion of donation which can be collected but not to be used for the enterprise to grow. Instead of that, identify the group wherever you need to help supporting kids education, or tie up with an NGO who supports kids education, buy the donation here. And or you will need your own schools. Your government schools might require food. Now government schools food is given by the government, so they will need some products from your own production itself, that you can supply. If you're buying donation here, supply, make it a, convert it into a sale and supply it as a product. Don't take it as a money donation inside your enterprise. The moment you start seeing money like that, you will never feel to market and sale. And it will pause somewhere. It will pause and it will not grow. So never go into that mindset when you are doing this. If you want the generations and society to grow and grow with or without your presence in future, when you start a spark with it, please do not look into the donation mode.
Okay. Next question. What are the most important income generating activities that can be developed around a Gaushala?
So the most income generate again, this again ties up with the previous question itself. The most income generating nowadays is each product has its own market size, but I would say real good quality vermicompost in a reasonable price for farmers, or panchakavya, and there are lots of related byproducts. These are all farmers essentials or farmland owners essentials, which can always give you constant income. Apart from that, whatever byproducts you create, now most of the home gardeners wanted a concept of easy gardening. So what are the byproducts you create out of it? You just have to, every product nowadays has a market. So which product you choose where you want to target what. And if this customer is, these set of targeted group of customers are looking for this product, manufacture it. If you want to, instead of starting all the product manufacturing, you can focus on one. For example, if you're focusing on ashes for temples or intense sticks, then you first approach all the temples around you and churches around you who and all uses this. Take an understanding, promote it, and then start manufacturing. I would always suggest to go with pre-orders, and the rest can be the immediate farm inputs, because farm inputs, what comes from the soil goes back to the soil, so there's no wastage. But any other product you are creating and keeping it, and you're not able to push it in the right time, it again goes as the waste, but goes into the soil. But again, the process time is a waste for you. The labor, effort, time, everything is a waste. So I would always suggest, when you go into such systems, until you gain the standard buying customer numbers, going for pre-orders. Always try to have good marketing and sales executives hired for such community thing. Though everybody are expert in one or the other, some positions needs experts. Some training positions also needs experts on the field. We need to invest on that. That is why it is not a one person investment. This should be a cluster plan where government also supports, and where there are some schemes also which constantly supports from the government, which also supports to build it.
Okay. And can a community Gaushala help farmers reduce their dependence on chemical fertilizers and lower
100%. Yeah, this
cultivation costs?
100%. 100%. Because when you start something, we are not going to sit on the same thing what we have learned today. We are going to see, analyze. We are also going to connect with more people and say, okay, my farmer has that 10 kilometers surrounding farmer has this issue. We discuss in forums how it can be. Today, there are many experts who are giving lovely ideas and the traditional methods which can make your crop better and grow in a faster way and avoid chemical more synthetic fertilizers. So that way, yes, eventually, see, so we have moved to a different direction now. Immediately moving to this direction is going to be little difficult. Eventually, step by step, if the farmer tries to change, yes, it can change. Because today most of the lands are getting affected because of overuse or usage of chemicals. Probably today it is giving you yield, but tomorrow or after 10 years it's going to become a dead land. But then what are we going to do? Then we are going to try out many other things which is going to take time. In organic farming or chemical free, chemical free farm, synthetic fertilizer free farming, I would always suggest prevention is better than cure. You should have a 365 days calendar on whenever whatever you need to apply. There are lots of experts on the field who gives right consultations on the right time. Apply it, and once your soil is good, nothing more is required for your plant. If you understand, the plant can say, is like how the mosquito comes and sits on us and we immediately, the brain sense that this mosquito is biting. Like that, the plant also senses if a bug comes and sits on it. It's not going to stay quiet, it's going to reflect. So all that you need to give to your plant is good immunity and strength. And where it comes from? It comes from soil. If your soil has enough good health, automatically the plant is also going to have health. So if you there's a book about the life of plants and how they really react. If even I have not studied fully, but I have taken some glimpse from it. They also react like how even we react when something sits on us. They also react. They have that system within them. We should ensure that they are healthy. That's all. And some few percentage has to go for the nature also, because bugs are also part of nature. It has to go. It has to go. It has to go, but not the 100%.
Okay. And how can farmers, FPOs, women, and rural youth participate in and benefit from a community Gaushala model?
As we saw in one of the slide itself, self-help groups. So the enterprise is going to be formed with first within the resources available within the village, the assets available within the village. When I say assets here, human resource is an asset. So there are lots of youngsters. They don't go for any work, but if you see, they're sitting at home and they're doing reels, and their reels really reach great heights. Probably there's no better, they can use better content in that, which our Gosala will create an opportunity for them to the mindset. Everything changes when they are given an atmosphere, an opportunity to do actually. So that way youths can be engaged. Self-help groups, they itself, self-help groups are itself a cluster, because most of the places in Tamil Nadu we see self-help groups really doing a wonderful job of getting some projects and getting it done, and giving the products out to the customer. They're really doing it well. Here also, it will be similar. They can be engaged. And majorly, a concept which I always would welcome is, let us not be fixed of only so many people will work here. We should always have opportunities for people who come, visit, and want to experience and earn. Even hourly opportunities, we should have it open, so that if anybody from the village who never likes to work or wants to work or can't work is walking in for one day to earn a bit of money, they should have opportunity to work and earn for the day and leave. So it has to be created in that way, so that everybody, tomorrow a college student comes but want to do some work, we have good, encourage, do some work, give the money. Don't take any free service also. Nothing comes for free, goes for free. The knowledge you're giving, take money, give money. Right. Everything is only then it will be valued. It has to be valued means it has to be involve some commitment. And today's commitment is mostly with the money. So do it, but do it genuinely. That's the thing which we are going to form. And
Right.
wherever you can do charity also out of the profits which you get.
Okay. And what are the major challenges in managing a community Gaushala, particularly regarding fodder, animal health, labor, and operating costs?
I think everything would be a challenge if we don't get into a proper process, because labor today, in today's industry, what we are seeing is labor is becoming a challenging thing. Even see, whether even we say that you have to form an enterprise and work, you still need to have your regular employee workers. So what if the regular employee workers is demanding very high, which the Gausala cannot immediately, when it starts it cannot immediately do. Then what we do, we forget about the immediate people, and we try to hire people from outside who come for lesser price. Again, the community Gausala is going to become, and we don't know, it's going to become a business enterprise, but not a community Gausala. So we have to find a way where community Gausala, the people who are in and around, who wants to work, should be accommodated. But again, it has to be in a very mutual way. The right person, right skill, right salary or right input has to go. So labor is always going to be the problem. But if if it is planned properly, and if it is planned properly, and if the initial investment also is highlighted transparently, then I think it should be, it is more like how the big businesses run. Though we call it as a community Gausala, the process, everything has to run like how big corporate runs, it has to run. But we will be, we also have to be liberal to certain rules, like hardcore working, so many hours working. We have to be little liberal there here. And when it comes to fodder management is a big responsibility, because we don't get throughout the year. We get the rainy season, summer season, like that. We have that thing always rotational going. So, what kind of good health fodder we are going to give to our cows, and when they have to be isolated, the isolation room, these are all, and where our fodder supply is going to come from. We can't always depend on the 10-kilometer supply. Farmers, tying up with farmers for fodder, so that throughout 365 days we get our fodder supply. This all has to be pre-planned, and the investment has to be much way planned. For every 6 months there should be an invested log which is already planned. So if you ask me today, I should say, okay, next 6 months, the sixth month, this day, I'm getting my supply from this person. That much amount planning has to be, if you have to maintain a community Gausala. Like how the flight, there's an interesting story, this flight food management, the menus are planned way ahead, a year ahead. So what you're eating today in the flight, it is planned more than a year ahead, and they know what you're going to eat today. Like that, our system also has to have a proper planning. Just because we call it as a community Gausala inside village doesn't mean we are going to form something without process. You have to form, if you're going to get into it, you have to form it with a process. But that's why you need government support, and you need constant scheme investors, so that you don't get stuck when your revenue gets stuck. Insurances, all these things has to be in proper way. So when we get down in detail, we have to put all these things. But again, start step by step. Don't expand too much. Start step by step, but always have a plan for expansion. You put your process on papers, expand it, but when you start it as milestones. This is my first milestone, second milestone, third milestone, like that.
Okay. And how can technology and proper data management improve Gaushala management, animal health, and productivity?
I strongly believe that technology and the data management is going to be the core for this. That is why we say that there'll be lots of employments created, not only for village people, for people who migrate and go because their skills are not met inside the village. We'll have lots of opportunities once such things are created, because data management is not only about what you manage inside the Gausala. Data management is also the data analysis which you do outside to get the global market inside. That is a huge sector. So you keep producing one side, but it has to go reach the right place for the right um, amount of whatever MRP you price you place for market price you place. So in that case, you need to do lots of data analysis to find out where your exact target group of customers. And this can be done only when technology comes in. So we are not against technology here. Technology should be there to make any analysis or any work ease for people, but we don't want technology which will replace the people completely, because end of the day the society is people. People have to earn and have their food so that the society grows. So that's it. And we also had an interesting thought when we discussed about this. Most of the places, even dogs are not taken care. So we have lots of stays. So here, when you have such a big Gausala, the stay can become security champions also. In many places, we see when one dog barks, immediately everybody will go inside. Every other cow will go inside the places wherever you are. So like that, we can have our we should not call stays, but our village dogs can be trained so much. That also takes little training given to them. They are very smart. So everybody, nature has every life will have a part. You have to create a system where it is inclusive, for every life will have a part in it. As you start and think about it, step by step, everything will fall in place. We are not born in first month itself. No, it takes 10 months for us to 9 months or something for us to come out. Like that, step by step, first month, trimester, like that, step by step, we will come out like that.
Okay. And based on your experience at Tulips and Daffodils, what inspired you to work on community-based and sustainable rural development? And what lessons you have learned?
Okay. Lessons learned and experience. Okay, I would say my experience was not just with tulips and daffodils. It was with many other. Maybe from childhood, I've been with my mom a lot, and to be honest, me to start this and go towards it, I should say it was her idea. My mom used to keep telling Gausala, Gausala, because we have 8 to 9 calves at home, but our home is not now enough for them. So they are going out, but we ensure they are within the village itself and they are coming. We are still finding couple of calves. Though my mom told, why are we not having a Gausala done? And we are still planning it. But again, all these calves we have not bought. None of them are our calves. Since we have a temple, people who are not able to take care has left them there and went. My mom cannot leave anybody like that on road, so she took everybody inside. And that one, two became three, three became four, like that. Now we have 8 to 9. So my mom keeps telling everybody have home. Why not they have home? And when she sees some accidents outside in a village, lots of highway accidents happens because of them. She feels very bad. So her thing was more which pushed me to analyze more about Gausala and how we can help everybody here. It's just a spark. I'm not very much experienced in this, but we know experts who are experienced and we need to learn and seek their help. Nobody is an expert on day one, but a seed, everybody can sow it and see how it grows. So that seed only we have sowed. And when it comes to tulips and daffodils, in COVID time, we saw our village women did not have opportunities at all. And our men had lots of work opportunities outside, but the money didn't come home. I've already told in many of the forums. So that is where we thought, okay, let's employ women for doing this work. The challenge was they were not able to stay with us 12 hours, 10 hours, or even 8 hours. So let them come in their comfortable time, earn and go. That when the family grows, the community grows. That was what we believed, and we have started it. Even that 5 or 6 families are now comfortably doing their job and going. At times they come, at times they don't come. That is all there, human beings. So we have to understand even their mood swings. But it happens. So these are the main things which actually pushed me. And the situation which I saw in one area in Chennai, where I told you that drainage system, we were still not successful in converting that. Because I don't have it. We are not an NGO, we are not a team. We are just trying to connect people and convert things. So it's still not happening. In fact, there are 20 women who are identified to do some work out of this waste, but we were not able to give them opportunity also. In fact, we were not matured enough to understand how to take funding for them. That also is there because it was 2 years back. And funding involves lots of, things. But we are very transparent. We have to be transparent if we want the community to grow. So let's see how it goes. So these are some inspirations, and mom is the most inspiration when it comes to Gaushala and cow. So that pushed me towards. And I'm a person who connects more to nature. So these are the things which keep pushing. Be more empathetic, have zero ego, and any thought which comes, it will automatically come, because the moment you see things empathetically, you will get lots of solutions.
Right. Okay. It was interesting. So last question now. What practical business model or roadmap would you recommend to a village community that wants to establish a financially viable Gaushala?
So what I would suggest is, see, we have given lots of products, ideas, everything here. But end of the day, it comes to, if you are implementing in the village, it comes to the resources, assets available inside the village. So one first thing what we have to do is we have to understand our own people, what they are experts in. So that there will be people who are experts in palm leaf basket. We cannot force them to do something else because they are already experts in something. So first understand what resources you have, what are the things you have, what you need to bring from outside, put a proper plan, and understand what is the requirement of the market outside, who can buy the products or the services which you are creating, and have a proper target group of customer analysis done. Because we can always production is very easy. We can always produce many things with the people we have. We can set up everything and we can produce. Getting it to the end user and making revenue out of it is a challenging part. So do that analysis more with the experts, and do lots of surveys, and then say, okay, this is the thing which I'm setting. I'm saving, I'm just engaging the Gausala with so many cows, and these profits are going to be shared within these people. And every month they spend so much on the cow, but they get only this income. So the gap is this. So try to first fill that gap of whatever they have. Like if the family is receiving 500 income from a cow, that for the next 12 months that family has to get that 500, because again they are not big investors who can invest and leave. So but try to run it in that model, and then start gaining more profits in a very percentage way. How much contribution each one gives, that much contribution everybody should go. The rest has to go to the community Gausala as profits for generating it again, and using for the cycle to continue. But the major part of revenue, first investment, yes, we have to seek lots of support and other things. But after that, the revenue has to come from the products or services which you're giving outside. So that TG part and market analysis part has to be done if you have to succeed in anything. And how you are going to create visibility for something happening here. Visibility is people around should know, right? There's something happening here. So those things has to come in picture. But with government support and panchayat support, cluster support, this is really a cakewalk for them. Getting people inside and all is a different thing. Then you get this support system, it's a cakewalk, because the moment they come inside, media comes inside. It just spreads widely.
Right. Okay. Okay, Ms. Subangi, I don't see any more questions. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for a very detailed presentation, answering all the questions in depth. I'm sure our listeners will gain a lot of knowledge from this talk. So we'll be ending this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Let's connect. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.